you are exactly where you need to be. Now, what does that even mean? What does need mean? Take some time to meditate on these words and see if they do something to you. And I'm going to explain. Where else would you be and what else would you be doing? Maybe you're procrastinating and you would need to be somewhere else. Nonetheless, life brought you here. And actually, right now, you're listening to my words and you're watching this video, and that somehow happens to be the most beautiful and the most fruitful thing that you could be doing right now. Coincidentally? Not exactly. Pretend life is supposed to happen to you the way it does. And if you manage to do that without losing your idea of agency and responsibility, you may manage to have the best of both worlds. This stoic, open acceptance of what life brings you, as much as the unbearable, useful weight of immense responsibility and duty to contribute to the world, to serve. I think both of those concepts can coincide somehow if you see the world as anything but your duty to utilize, to take advantage, to make good use of all your competencies and privileges so that everybody around you gets as healthy as possible in the most fruitful, productive way. It's not a way through which you can thrive. It is actually the only way through which you can thrive. And this is where we fail. The moment we start focusing to our happiness, to ourselves, to taking care of ourselves for anything more than making us stronger to do the difficult thing that we are avoiding and we know that would help the people around us, sometimes immensely so, we become miserable. We become self-absorbed. And I'm guilty of that, of course, as we all are. So self-care is a tool. Self-care is the means to an end, and the end is a perpetual end. It doesn't end. But the end, the direction, is to serve, is to contribute, and the only reason to take care of yourself is to be stronger and healthier, to be able to maximally contribute to your family, to your people, to your cause, to whatever you feel is valuable for you. And whatever you feel is valuable for you and it's outside of yourself, I would argue it's already good. You don't have to optimize on the topic you choose to contribute to. And the reason is that we need people passionate in topics that are not optimized for their efficiency so that we keep the infrastructure and the social cohesion stable. The idea of effective altruism, the idea of optimal resource allocation is extremely useful and should be very much respected in the way we do policy and we do global economy. And we are soul-crushingly bad at doing that. We are too emotional there. So I'm not making the argument that that's not extremely important. See how we mess energy in the West and we are shutting down or not starting nuclear plants, which are the safest and cleanest viable options, even with the developing renewables. How we have shot ourselves in the foot in that aspect. That's a simple example. But besides global policy and decisions of organizations, talking about you, talking about me, talking about individuals, there is absolutely no need to optimize on the topic we can focus our energy and be passionate about. In fact, sometimes we don't even need to be passionate for the sake of the topic itself. The need or desire to make a lot of money can get us to invest on a topic that most people find boring. So how do you think all the infrastructure for plumbing, for dealing with toxic waste, all the high-level, high-yield, high-return on investment, dirty jobs are created, or dangerous jobs? Because, oh my God, people don't like this. I can make a lot of money and I can make it safer for the next generation. So this is already extremely honorable wherever you decide to invest yourself, especially if it's something that is not 100% computer-based. Because in this day and age, it's much more difficult to know if you have actual impact, much less positive impact, if your work, if your passion is computer related, addressing a problem that users may or may not have, and it may or may not be addressed by another initiative that either already exists and you don't know about it, or it will be created 5 minutes later and it will be 1,000,000 times better than yours. I do admire people who start e-companies, but only the extremely intelligent and innovative ones. The rest of us, the rest of you, are victims. You're gonna lose your time, you're gonna lose your money, and you better learn not only the lesson that you wasted this time, but maybe some lesson about how computers and the internet and online manipulation works. But this is a lesson not worth learning by having it happen to you. I'm telling you, go out, touch things with your hands, touch people with your hands with their consent, be a hairdresser, learn how to build, learn how to clean, learn how to massage, and do learn how to use hardware. Do learn how electricity works. Do learn basic thermodynamics. Nobody's gonna listen to me. Well, I'm gonna keep saying it until somebody does. Even if one person decides to learn thermodynamics watching this video, I will consider it a big win. Back to compulsory art. What do you think about the concept? I think it's scandalous in a delicious way. If I have the audacity, the arrogance, if I'm obnoxious enough to claim that I have created art that not only is great and everybody would better buy it and have it in their house, but it's so important to have that it's effectively compulsory, then I can start knocking doors of NGOs and initiatives and funding and all those dirty places and say, hey, this is not for wealthy people anymore. This is charity. This is something everybody needs to have. This is a fundamental human right. To have my art in your house, in your heart, as a tattoo, is a fundamental human right. To have a constant reminder of the validity of your life, not your experience, by the way, not of your feelings, but of your being in the world, regardless of how you consider yourself. And that's the reminder that will help you consider yourself correctly, because there is a wrong way. To have that reminder, plus to have a constant reminder of tribalism, to have a constant reminder of good art is good, the only legitimate tautology. And to know deep in your heart and be reminded daily that this is not optional. This is not something nice to have. This is not something you put in your life after you have solved your problems. No. This is a fundamental ingredient of how to live your life at all. Otherwise, you're not alive. How dare I? How dare I claim that without my art, you cannot live a life? You are effectively dead. Well, I think this is exactly what I should be doing. Why bother making art that is not essential? If I know that art is essential, I might as well treat it as such. And I don't need to teach you how to appreciate good art. If I force it, if I shove it down your throat, if I shove it down your soul, deep in your asshole, then you don't need to be motivated to go grab your phone, make the phone call, order the art, get it shipped to your house, unbox it, frame it, put it on your wall, and then what? You should be handcuffed and tased, paralyzed in a corner until my people install my art, which is your art, which is everybody's right, in your house, on your body, in your retina. Then they can bring you back to life so that you realize, wait a second, this is actually good. It's not back to life. I was just born. Thank you, Anthony. No, you're not even gonna be grateful, because that will be your obvious reality. You may or may not be grateful to me. I couldn't care less. This will feel so easy. It will not be conceivable to you that you didn't have it in your life. No, it will not be conceivable to you that you were living any different way before. That's the only way to do art. But you think I'm gonna paint some shit and sell them? You think that's what I'm doing? You stupid piece of... I didn't think so. Nobody's so stupid to think this is art. Paintings are art? Really? Still? We do that? We do paintings? Even if you have God inside you, This is not the right place to have God inside you. It's so difficult. It's so incompatible, right? So the art of making is compatible with the ways of the Western civilization, with the ways of the 21st century. It's so compatible, you don't even notice it wasn't there. It's not that you don't notice it's here, you always know it's here. And it brings and keeps you to life so much so that you really, really don't consider the previous state. Time doesn't exist in that case. The only life you know and the only life conceivable is the life with my art. And this is exactly why my art is compulsory. You don't understand it. Maybe a more accurate word would be inevitable. It's inevitable, but also it's already here. It's already done. I have basically already done what I'm saying I'm gonna do with documenting my art journey, this disgusting word, journey, what the fuck. It's already done, okay? And that's great. That's a relief. All I have to do is not die and do this immense amount of work and get some help, because I cannot do everything alone. I'm just a single human. But that's the easy part. That's the easy part.